All right, good day, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. So I'd like to ask, do you plan on running for mayor again in the
Well,
US?
thank you for that.
Or
I don't think, I don't know. I don't want to rule out anything, but I will check with my wife. My wife said I shouldn't run for mayor anymore. I'm bigger than that. So if she turns around and say, "Hey, try it again," I do. But she said I should run for Congress. I ran for Congress in the US last year or so. But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds.
uh, what do you think? What do you think it takes to become a mayor in US?
Well, I mean, the mayor position in the US, it differs. When you have the title mayor, uh, you know, they all have different functions. Like in Dallas, we have what they call council mayor, whereby the mayor is not the executive of the city, just the political head, the figurehead. But you go to Houston, it's an executive mayor. He runs the city on a day-to-day basis. In New York is an executive mayor also. So it depends on the local charter.
Okay, look at that.
So, but it's the city I have lived in ever since I've been in the US, and I wanted to do it because it's my home. It's my home by choice. So that's the reason. And I ran for mayor the first time in less than 8 years of becoming a US citizen.
Wow.
No African immigrant has ever done that.
Wow.
I'm the first immigrant to go to America, live in the same city. In 8 years or less, I became a citizen. I ran for mayor. So I didn't win, but I didn't lose anything.
That's impressive. Do you have an investment in Nigeria?
No.
Why?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't understand the market. I know there's a lot of people make money, but it's not something I haven't gotten to that mental stage yet.
So, what year would you say was one of the most difficult year for you while, growing up as a man?
During the war was a difficult year. You can ask my sister behind. We were all running around from one place to the other. But it was a time. And we dealt with it. I never even, when the war was on, my years was still a single-digit year. But I never felt it because, my mom never was afraid. My mom never panicked about the war. I never lacked anything. I don't think I ever lacked anything. I just that, I saw people die. My father was chief at the time. His house in Enugu and in the village was the ones that when Nigerian soldiers came, was destroyed. So they had a list of political figures.
And not even in US, do you have any challenge? Maybe racism or anything?
I mean, you're gonna have that. Just like when I left Nigeria for US, my father said to me, "Hey, you have two choices. You can stay in Nigeria and deal with tribalism. People that look like me, and we are black that will hate me. Igbo versus Yoruba, Hausa, Ishikeri, whatever. And then even with the same Igbo, you have other Igbos that don't like other Igbo." My father said, "You can deal with that. You know that. Or you go to America, you deal with white and black. So you have a choice." And one thing he told me, he said, "Don't you ever call me from America and say somebody doesn't like me." He said, "Life has nothing to do about that." He said, "I'm your father, sometimes I don't like you. So you gotta deal with whatever situation I'm in." So there's racism, there's tribalism, but I can deal with it. If you don't like me, I do you a favor. I don't like you back. We cancel each other out. We move on.
What do you want to be remembered for as?
Look, I can own the whole world. I can own a whole lot of other things. But the best thing I would like to be remembered that I helped somebody. I inspired somebody to do something good about themselves or something. That's and I go with that spirit of giving. Because my father was known as a cheerleader, somebody who cares for other people. So that's for me. When I come to Nigeria and I see the suffering, Nigerians work hard. Nigerians are willing to work hard, but there's very little reward for their hard work, and that just kills me. You see the governors, the so-called politicians, including the president. Everybody's about them, but they look around. Poverty in Nigeria is not hidden. It's in your face. Even the driver that you employ, you're not paying them. You are abusing them. So for me, that's what hurts. But I can see, there are proof of People be rich and wealthy, but at the end of the day, is anybody taking it with them? Is anybody going to be buried with their mansion? So for me, if I can help somebody, I don't know you, we met, here we are, each time I'm in Lagos, I call you, you come around.
Yeah.
So I'm old enough to be your dad, but I consider you a friend.
Appreciate sir. Thank you, sir. So, what inspires the collection you have at Okpa?
Well, I like to document my history. Life is a journey. I tell my stories the best way I can. That's it. So, if you come to my house, I'll tell you the airplane that took me from Lagos to London. I know my seat number. From London to Dallas, I know my seat number. I have my visa. The last letter my father wrote me before he passed away, I have it framed. I have my ticket framed. I can tell you how much my ticket was. So that was 78 naira 50 kobo. What I paid to fly from Nigeria to England and to the US. So that's that.
So, do you think we are slowly losing our culture in Nigeria with the rate of
the
young
whole world,
people?
everybody's losing culture. We're now having people interacting from all over, so it doesn't really matter. But you have to hold on to the things that really make you a better human being. I don't do color knock, I don't do rewarding, I don't do libation, I don't wear red cap. But that's a culture. But what good does it do me? I don't wear Nigerian clothes except if I have to. So the culture changes, and when people start to interact, you have different things that come out of it. It's just that sometimes we are stuck.
Yeah.
Not I say, man, this is how we do it. I say, friend, people used to go naked. Why don't you just walk around naked if that's your culture? So culture has to be relevant to your daily life. It's not something that should pull you back.
What's your opinion about fatherhood?
Fatherhood?
Yes.
Biology, a man can get a woman pregnant. That's just that biological process. But to be a father, which is parenting, is a different thing. How relevant are you to that child? And because the child is going to look up to you for something. The parents, father or mother, the first authority figure in our life. So that's where the discipline starts. So if they set you right, chances are you're going to be right for the rest of your life. So if the parents' role is missing, sometimes the kids start to stumble and then end up some kind of way. So fatherhood is important, but it has to be relevant. Not just because you got somebody pregnant and they have a baby, that's a biological process. Even hopeless people do it. But when you take the responsibility of a father, then you take care of somebody.
How did you get the opportunity to host political figures in Okpa?
Ask my sister, we see over here, ask her. When we were growing up, our father, people used to come see us. So what I'm doing in America is what I would do if I was in Nigeria. Because I was 7 years old when I met Ejike.
Wow.
Akani Ibiam, Premier of Eastern Nigeria. So these people came to see my dad. When the war ended, Asika was the administrator of the Central State. Then 75 when the coup, happened, or 76, I forgot. Malta Mohammed came in with Obasanjo. The military, person was Anthony Ochefu, Colonel Anthony Ochefu. He used to come visit my dad, and I would see him out of Bera. I met Mwobodo, Mbakwe, Medford Kilo, River State. This is before I even left for US. When I was a student in Port Harcourt, I used to go to the government house on weekends and hang out with governors. Medford Okilo was the governor at the time. Frank Eke was the deputy. So I went to America. I was like, I know how to roll with these people. So the governors have been to my home, politicians. You see them when they come. So it's something I learned from my dad.
Do you feel lucky about all you've achieved so far?
Well, it's history. Achievement is history. It's behind me. The thing is, what is next? What am I looking forward to? I don't too much. What I have achieved and what I haven't achieved, it all inspire me. Life is like a battery in a car. Okay? For the car to crank, what do you need? The battery. And you need the positive and the negative. You can't just run the battery on a positive
alone.
So achievement and non-achievement, they are positive and negative. You have to bring them together because that's what makes you as a human being. Nobody's perfect. Anybody who said they haven't had something that didn't turn out the way they haven't lived their life. You know, there's a saying in America, if you haven't waffled, you haven't lived. So you have to have bruised yourself, but when you fall, you get up. Maybe there's a reason for you fall is for you to get up.
How many countries have you been to, and do you think US stand out of all of them?
Well, you know, if you pay me, I won't live in England. If you pay me, I won't live in what is their name, Canada. I won't live in Australia. I won't live anywhere. In fact, when I wanted to go to America, I decided at the age of 17, without even checking, I said, because I was reading about America, I said, God, before I die, I better come through America. I didn't say, God, please. I never said please to God. Because it's my father. I always say, hey, God, this is what I want to be. I hope that's part of the plan. So I said I wasn't going anywhere. I won't live in China. I won't live in Singapore. America is it. And that is my home, my country of choice. Nigeria is my country of birth. You know, my sister is here, she's hearing it. When I die, I ain't not bringing my body here. How can I be in heaven? And when I die, you can't bury me in hell. I mean, that means if I'm going to hell, I already started. I'm already started a double hell life. So, but you know, this just because I focus on where I want to be. I'm not distracted by too many countries. I've been all over, but there's certain countries that I want to go to.
I say you've been to Egypt.
I've been to Egypt, South Africa, Congo, Ghana. You know, my wife is the one that takes me on that trip. I'm not a vacation guy.
Oh.
If you tell me vacation of, see mountain, I go Google it, I look at it, I got it, I see it, I'm fine. My wife is the one that will drag me.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, yeah, say hello to my sister right there.
Say hello to us, man.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you
Good
so
morning.
much.
Good morning.